The Church of Scientology is a business, and it's a financial burden to most people. Each course costs money. But the other thing is they constantly invent new things. You will get to a certain place in Scientology that maybe took you 10, 20 years to get to, and then all of a sudden they say, yeah, that was done wrong. Or they found new technology that was hidden, so we have to go back down and do it. And so you have to, and then you have to pay for that again. So it's never ending. Once you get to grade 1, they'll say we messed up your grade 0, or a new paper was found that was taken out of grade 0 and we need to redo your grade 0 at your cost, right?
Yeah.
So people are always going up to come back down, going up to go back down. You already got up the bridge, but then you had to redo everything at a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah, at your expense.
Yes.
Right. When did it start that people would get all the way up to OT8, let's say, and then something began where they started now saying you have to go back down the bridge?
That was like 2000, 1999, 2000.
Right, so...
There's been a whole series of evolutions where each time it is, we've discovered new material or notes from L. Ron Hubbard that shows you all did it wrong. Now, you're going to pay us to now do it the way that we say that you need to do it now.
David Miscavige had come up with the new way of now training all auditors, that it had all been being done wrong for the 50 years previously. He had now discovered the real way that it should be done, so every auditor in the world had to be trained newly in this golden age of tech.
The book Evolution was the most ridiculous thing. They found a comma not in the right place, or some word that somebody misspelled, and they had to redo all the books. That means Dianetics, that means Fundamental of Thought.
All the
Science,
basic books,
all the basic books.
The transcriptionist. They really didn't know where to begin or end the sentence. Specifically, here's where they weren't sure if it should be a comma or a period, and so they split the difference and used a semicolon, which a good percentage of readers never understood in the first place. And given one semicolon begets another, it wasn't long before it was the march of the semicolons, frustrating readers and lengthening lines to word clears from one end of Scientology to another.
The entire staff of Sea Org had to sell those books to everybody and themselves to each other. We were trained at staff meetings to sell each other a package.
Wow.
It's not a cheap package.
No.
And then to how to sell to others. We had training. Staff meetings became horrible. It became a training drills.
On how to sell.
On how to sell.
And everybody says, auditor sells, CSs.
They have to sell. Everybody has to sell.
I was a registrar. I was pretty good at what I did. I did it consistently. My stats are normally up, so I had it down, you know. And then they said, no, you have to have a quota for books.
That's what they were doing to everybody. They were doing it to every... The people who were counseling me were selling me 10 books
Even people that were in the management, which is where I was at.
After, you know, 11 o'clock at night, then I'd start on my basics because I couldn't really do it during the day. And I'd have a senior person sitting there watching me call all over the world till 4 o'clock in the morning. And this was pretty much the whole last year I was there.
Right.
The whole thing was so too much.
When you got to OT8, you told me then that you were done with Scientology.
Correct.
Was that because OT8 wasn't what you thought it was going to be?
It was nothing that I thought it would be.
Well, what did you think you were going?
I thought it was spiritual freedom, forever, forever.
When I had talked to you, I go, is it everything that you wanted, Mom? Is it everything that you sacrificed your whole life for? And you said, not now, Leah.
Right.
And I go, okay. So basically what she was saying was, no, I can't talk to you about it now because either they're listening or they're going to keep me here if they know that I'm not happy.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So this is from somebody who completed OT8. I thought OT8 was the end of the bridge. It made sense to me that you created your own
it.
reactive mind.
Exactly.
OT8 cognition is that your case was all made up by the body thetans, that you were never that person
Right.
that these body thetans were remembering as your past.
Right.
And at the top of the bridge, after parting with $1 million or more, you have you have re-achieved the state of who and what you were before you ever walked through the door of a Dianetic center or organization.
Right, that you're yourself.
That you are yourself.
Right. Which is what I've been saying all along.
Well, doesn't anybody, let me ask the cameramen, do you know, sir, that you are who you are?
Absolutely do.
Interesting. And you've never done any Scientology?
We've just saved you millions.
What about you? Do you know that you are who you are?
Yeah.
Not convincing. I think you need some Scientology.
I mean, is that correct? It's just. What the f are you all staring at me for?
That's why a lot of
thrilling.
OT8s left at that point.
What are you staring at me for? Because you are talking like this should be some sort of oh my God moment. And it's so opposite from an oh my God moment. It's like, yeah. The truth of the matter is the end result of all of this is to be told, wasn't any of that. You weren't any of those things. Sorry. Now you get the chance to find out who you really are. And that is now the final carrot. The final carrot is you will find out who you really are on OT9
That's correct.
and OT10.
Right. That is
But
so true.
OT9 and 10 do not exist. Instead of what it was when L. Ron Hubbard was around, which is there is always a new development that he would come out with. When he died, there were no new developments to bring. So what do you do with someone that has done, in theory, everything up to that point? You've got to convince them that they need to go do something again or start at the beginning.
Right.
And it has become, instead of the bridge up, it's become the bridge around.